All right, Dennis, we are here. This is like your fourth, maybe fifth time on the podcast.
I did not count.
It's
Yeah.
been a lot. It's been a lot. The listeners should be used to your voice. We talk about you a ton on Good Morning Hospitality. We are big fans of Casiola. Big fan of you guys. Anytime I go visit at the office, I can't miss that opportunity.
Any party is a good
any
reason
party.
to visit, right?
Especially during Halloween. Your guys' Halloween party was fun. You guys put on a good show. I'm really excited.
Yeah.
And speaking of parties, we'll talk about the VRMA beach party, the Casiola beach party.
Yeah.
But I want to kind of talk to you real quick. In the industry, we're talking a lot of consolidation. People are tired. And then also you have these different kind of operation models now. Also a good mix of people building their own tech, buying tech, all this other stuff, right? You're used to the topics that we've talked about.
Yeah.
But you guys recently launched your franchise arm. So let's talk about that.
We did, absolutely. So scaling operations is really hard. We tried it in various different ways with our own staff, trying to get like GMs in place. And it's really, really hard. You need someone local that is part of the community, but that also really cares, that doesn't think like this is a job 9 to 5. And if a guest calls at like 8:30, not my problem anymore. So it actually all started with our Aruba adventure. So we decided to partner up with a local partner there, and we really saw amazing results there. So that was actually like the basis of our franchise model. We say, hey, if we can replicate that model there, it's going to be very successful.
Yeah, and you guys grew really quickly in Aruba. So when applying that to the United States, how is this going to scale? Because obviously you're not on one island.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to be in many places.
Yeah.
So, just like how Casiola has standards for the brand itself, how are you applying those standards across the board with your new franchises?
I think that's the most important part, what we're looking for. It's the people behind the franchise. It's not just, here's the money, I want to buy a franchise and let's get started. We really need to have a good mix. We want a match with the people that we work with. They have to have the same values. They have to be able to stand behind the mission and work with us on that. And then we have a whole set of tools. They're still going to have to do a lot of work because we have a lot of people that come to us and they think that we are going to do everything for them, but that's not how it works. You still have to put in the work, but we're going to give you the tools, the coaching, the software, the brand, the marketing, so that you can focus on what's really important, and that's growing your owner base, taking care of your owners and taking care of your guests.
How much does that impact the bottom line when it's like you're taking a lot off their plate? Yes, they have to do a lot of the work still.
Yeah.
But when you have the ability to basically onboard into a really well and robust built system, how much does that actually impact the bottom line with these franchises?
There's two things. There's on one side you have the money part, and on the other side you have the time part. So we really believe that we can save you 2, 3, 4 years in just figuring everything out yourself. We've grown from 20 homes to 350, and all the pains that come with it. Your business has to change when you're at 80 homes, and it has to change again when you're at 150 and at 250. And we have a really good system now that is scalable for your operations. So time is here very important. Second thing is we have the economies of scale. Mm-hmm. We already have built so much software that is ready and available. And I really believe that you cannot do it cheaper yourself. We charge a 4.9% franchise fee, but you get so much in return. If I had to do all those things myself as a small operator, I would definitely be paying more than a 4.9%.
100% on top of all the software costs. And
exactly.
As Robin Cragen says, getting 20 bucked to death.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah. Property. Yeah. No, and especially also the focus. It's simple. Like everybody can build a website these days. You have all those tools. You have WordPress, you have Wix, you have all those other systems. But it takes so much of your time. You have to write the copy. You have to search the photos. You have to look for a team. And you get all that from day one. So there's not even like months and months that you need to get going. You can focus from day one on, hey, where can I get owners? How can I get them on board? And really focus on what property management is, and that's taking care of your guests and the owners.
Well, and also running a profitable business. I think a lot of, people, and especially on Good Morning Hospitality, Brandy and I, we talk a lot about how these margins are thin. Like this is
Hmm.
not a huge profit
No,
margin
no.
industry. So the more that is able to be kind of baked into the cost of operating, paying a franchise fee that's
Mhm.
4.9% versus paying, $100 to this software, $100 to that software, $1,000 to this one. And then, all of a sudden the profit that you're making from your 25% commission off of any booking is now like close to nothing.
Yeah,
And on top of labor, like not
yeah.
even counting human capital.
And you have all those startup costs too, but again, the time that goes into it, that's something that a lot of people underestimate. If you migrate like PMS systems, for example, you pay a certain fee to get going, but you're spending months and months and months to go through the whole due diligence process, looking at all the different systems that are out there, then onboarding, and we can really help you with that, and that's more importantly your time. When I started, I never thought that it was gonna be so hard. This is the hardest thing I've done. I've run a company with 120 employees in 7 different countries. That's peanuts compared to property management. It's 7 days a week, 24/7. It never stops, and that makes it so hard on your personal life.
Hmm.
And if we can take away a lot of those headaches, you're just gonna have a better quality of life. You're gonna grow faster. You're gonna have less to worry about, and you're gonna do it in a more economic way than doing it yourself. So for me, it's really a win-win combination. I'm not saying that because I'm selling franchises,
Yeah.
but I really wish there was a great system around when I started, because yeah, it's coaching, it's software. You don't have to worry about all those things anymore.
Yeah. You're helping alleviate the pain that you had to go through. That was
Absolutely.
years
Yeah.
versus what you can do for a franchise. That makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
You and I were talking kind of in the hallway, and we're here at Next for TravelNet.
Yeah.
So for all the listeners, if you're not watching the video, you can go watch the video wherever we post. But we're here at this conference, and I was talking to you and Michael. Shout out to Michael, CFO, my man,
The
Michael Scott.
greatest CFO in the world. Yeah.
He's awesome. We talk, I think, almost daily now, so
Yeah.
we're chugging along. But talking about the investor market right now. So
Mhm.
you guys launched Guest Store, and when you and I got to chat for the first time at your office, I think you guys had just launched it or were just getting ready to. Now the market's changed a lot.
Yeah.
So give us some high level overview of what's happening within the investment market of short-term rentals.
Yeah. So we started with Gester, I think, in 21. We launched it in San Antonio, the VRMA conference, and it was probably the best time ever to get to
Yeah.
short-term rentals. Property values were still low, interest rates were low. So we bought several properties as well in Orlando as in Miami. Returns on those have been great. I think, they almost doubled in value in a matter of a year. But we feel that we're at like the peak of the market right now. So interest rates are really high. The property values are high. It's harder and harder to get a nice return, especially in those markets. So we're a little bit on a holding pattern right now. We're waiting until interest rates go down or the market goes down so that we can buy properties that continue to have the high return.
Definitely. Well, and not to, sorry, Brandy, if you're listening or watching, but she brings up the amount of supply in Miami, right? It's just like every day a new building is being built.
Exactly. Yeah.
And you guys are mostly in Orlando, but you also have launched your Miami market. And so how are you guys feeling about the kind of supply versus demand ratio right now?
We see it in markets like Orlando, but also Aruba. So Aruba is a good example because it's an island. So you have a certain number of planes coming in each day.
Yeah.
And the supply has grown 20% in Aruba over the last year. They didn't only add more homes, but also hotel rooms. But the number of people coming into that market is still the same. You don't just add another route to Aruba. It's still the same amount of people coming into the market. And what we've seen is, lower occupancy and lower rates. So that's happening in Orlando. So far, we have not seen that in Miami. I know that they're building new buildings every single day. But I think after COVID, there's still people are going back more to cities now. They haven't done that as much in 2022. But now you see a lot more people going back to urban markets. So we're still seeing an increase in the Miami market.
Very interesting. I was going to say for Miami and Orlando specifically, I think more Miami than anything, but this is normally an international hub. A lot of people from international travel come into Miami. We've all seen that Europe is packed and traveling is very much a thing there. Do you think we'll see that reverse again back to where a lot of international travelers coming back to the United States versus the United States travelers to Europe?
Yeah, I think there was a whole lot of pent-up demand this summer. People that have been wanting to go to Europe since COVID. It's almost 3 years, and this was like the first year that everything was back open, that there were no restrictions, that you could travel. So I think a lot of people did, and it's going to go a little bit more back to normal next year. That's my prediction. You had those waves also coming to Orlando, for example. That was 2022.
Yeah.
Everybody had been going to the mountains and the beach in 21, so now they wanted to go back to be around other people, which is Disney World and cities. And this year was Europe, so hopefully next year we see a normalized market.
Yeah. Well, it's also very interesting that I heard you say yesterday, because I think of Disney. I have family there. I go visit my nieces. We go to Disney World. We do the run, Animal Kingdom, all this fun stuff. But you were telling me that actually Orlando is a bigger conference market. There's a McDonald's franchise conference and all this crazy stuff, right? We were having lunch with Ryan Bailey yesterday, and we're talking about that. So maybe is that an overall myth of Orlando that it's just for families and Disney, or what's kind of
I think so. So in the last few years, we had around 75 million visitors coming to Orlando, and more or less half of it is for the theme park. So that means the other half is in Orlando for conventions. We have the second largest convention center in the US, and they just put massive shows on there. It's a little bit like Vegas. They also tracked a lot of those shows. And the same in Orlando. So it's not just leisure travel, but also a lot of B2B.
Very fun. Well, speaking of Orlando and conventions
and fun,
the one thing we can't forget to talk about on this podcast, as we're excited to partner with you guys as your media partner for the Casiola Beach Party, what can we expect with this huge soiree of activities and fun that you guys have built out?
We're really, really excited about that. So it all started in Vegas last year. I think on Monday night, I got around 15 invitations for different events and dinners from all kinds of vendors. And we made the ambitious plan to visit 5 of them. And then we started, and after 2 or 3, we were so exhausted and everybody wanted to go back to their hotel room. So I thought there must be like a better way. Why don't we get everybody together in one location, get all the vendors together and do something like really, really cool. And since VRMA was coming to Orlando, which is our home market, I thought, okay, let's just take the initiative and see who wants to join us. So we thought, okay, if we want to do something like that, we do need to go big. So we thought, we're going to rent out an entire theme park. We have been looking at some options, and we settled on Discovery Cove, which is like a hidden gem in Orlando. Most people don't even know Discovery Cove, but it's like a little paradise right in the middle of iDrive that most people don't know. So it's tropical themed. It's during the day, it's an all-inclusive water park. So we rented out the whole entire park for the evening. And we're going to throw a massive beach party. There's going to be entertainments. There's going to be gifts. We have a whole bunch of amazing partners that are going to spoil all our guests. And we're really looking forward to it.
Yeah, well, I just found out today that I'm donating myself for all the listeners and viewers that are going to be there to be
Thank
part
you
of
for that.
I was going to say, you really drive a hard bargain.
So part of the event is also we want to drive awareness of advocacy. We always see those events also at VRMA and other locations where you have like the big companies donating like $50,000 or $60,000 for advocacy, which is great, of course, because we need that money. But we want to get the smaller guys involved too. We also need that $10, that $50 from everyone. And more importantly, we need everybody to participate.
Yeah.
It's not just a few CEOs that are going to change the market there. We need everybody to be involved. And to create that awareness, we added an advocacy component to the event so people can... It's free for property managers, but we also offer donation tickets. They're $50, and the proceeds go 100% to the advocacy fund. But we also want to do something fun at the event itself, and we came up with a dunk tank, and we're looking for some amazing industry leaders to donate their body for the good cause, and we really appreciate you joining us. We have a couple of others like Steve Trover, Steve Milo. We're looking at others, so it's going to be amazing.
Yeah. Well, so if you're listening, tuning in, watching the video, and you're wanting to donate to advocacy, but maybe your pockets don't have the amount that you want to donate, but you can donate your body to get dunked and to have others pay to dunk you. So I'm excited. It'll be.
Let's see how much you're worth.
I was going to say, Julie George has not had success auctioning me off in the past on stage or at conferences, so I might not be worth much to you, but hey, I'm down to get dunked, and especially in Orlando, it's going to be hot, so it'll be maybe a nice cool down for the day.
Absolutely.
Very excited. Well, thank you, Dennis, again for sitting with me or standing with me here at Next. The conference question I've been asking everybody: what was the main goal for you when you were coming to this conference? Are you here to network? Are you here to learn? What was the main?
So first of all, I want to see where track is going, the future, and networking with the people that are making it happen. You usually don't see them, but everybody's here, the engineers, the customer success team leadership, and that's important for me to talk to all of them, not just the salespeople, but the people that really make it happen.
For sure. Awesome. Well, thank you again, Dennis.
Thank
you.
Of
course, we'll be seeing you very, very, very soon.
Absolutely.